Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to give everybody a minute or two here to get logged in, and then we will get started. All right. Seeing that it is 7:31, I would like to get going here this evening. Welcome to the North Central Women's Tennis Parent Meeting. I apologize. We're doing this via Zoom. I'm getting pretty annoyed doing these meetings on Zoom, but a month or two ago, we didn't know what situation we were going to be in, and I didn't want to make everybody drive back to North Central again. So thank you for attending here this evening. I see that we've got most people represented, so thank you. My name is Dan Brunette. I'm coming back coaching here this year. I coached the girls team for 9 years, took a 4-year break. I still coached the boys team during that period, and now I'm back to coach the girls of the women's team again, and I'm very excited about it. This evening, I'm going to go over some information that hopefully helps clarify some things that you're probably wondering, and then try to make it pretty short and sweet. I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to introduce my coaches just so that you have an idea of who they are. I'd like to have Coach Mark Branneman, who was the head coach last year and is now graciously stepped aside a little bit here and is going to be kind of our top assistant. So, Mark, why don't you say a few words, please?
Hello, everyone. There's nobody happier than me that Dan's back as the head coach, by the way. So looking forward to the season. One thing, you're probably going to have some questions when we're done with this tonight, so that we can get the same answers to everybody and send them to the NC Panthers tennis email address. If you have any questions, we'll compile answers to those and then get the answers back out to everyone at once, so that we'll have it clear and everything gets answered and everybody gets the same information. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Looking forward to the season.
All right. Thank you, Coach Mark. I'd also like to introduce Coach Kim Gosh, who's been with the team for 5 or 6 years. Coach Kim.
Hi guys. Like Dan said, I'm Kim Gosh. This will be my 6th season with the women's team. I also coached the freshman boys up until this last fall for 5 years. And I also teach math at North Central as well. And I'm looking forward to another great season, and most excited about bringing my little girl to watch this year.
Thanks, Coach Kim. I'm excited as well. We're going to have a crew there with your daughter and my kids and Coach Matt's kids. So, Coach Riley, Coach Matt, are you on here?
I'm on here.
All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Riley. This is my 4th girls season, 7th season with tennis here at North Central. This is my 18th year of coaching altogether. I was at Speedway for about 12 years, coaching both the boys and girls there. So I'm excited to work with you guys and with your kids. So looking forward to a great year.
All right. Thanks, Coach Matt Riley. We also have a couple of volunteer assistants that will be helping out throughout the season. Claire Reifeis, who is a North Central alum who recently graduated from the University of Nebraska and with her master's degree and played here at North Central. She's going to be helping out at least 1 or 2 days a week. And Caroline McAuley will be involved as well. She recently graduated with her master's from I think St. Mary's, and played tennis at Butler. So 2 great assistants and volunteers to have around as well. I feel very good about that. I wanted to throw it out there before I get too far into this that I was asked by the team parents that if you are planning on attending the luncheon, if you could, this is Saturday from 11 to 1 p.m. Tennis will depend on the weather, but if you are planning on attending, if in the chat box, if you could just put your name and how many are going to be with you. We'd like to have at least one parent or guardian there. If there's siblings coming as well, just put it down there so we can get an accurate count. I know there's some families that have choir performances and showcases and different contests on Saturdays, but we wanted to get an accurate count to make sure we have enough pizza for everyone. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm trying not to mess it up. All right. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the basic stuff on here. I'm not going to read everything verbatim, try to keep this going this evening. I just want to say we've had a wonderful start, in my opinion. I'm extremely excited about the enthusiasm that the girls have shown, the teamwork that they've shown, the leadership in getting players to practice, showing up on time, having a good attitude. The senior and girls that have experience have really stepped up. And I think we're moving in the right direction. So all the parents that have made commitments to help with that and players, thank you very much. Practice schedule. We're working on the Google form or Google Doc that we already have made to send that out, and we'll try to get that out in the next 24 hours. But you can assume we'll be practicing Monday through Friday at Carmel Middle School as we have the last 3 days. This is quite a change, obviously, from having 28 courts to going down to 8 courts and having to have to drive and not being able to really start until 4 p.m. So to try to at least have some kind of activities after school and to keep us in shape during the season and continue to do the weight training that we started in November. We're going to be lifting weights on Tuesdays and Thursdays of normal practice days from 255 to 335. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, players are going to be responsible for taking care of themselves. They can always come to one of our rooms to sit in if they have nowhere to go and are waiting for a ride. But they are responsible for getting to the courts by 4 o'clock. And like I said, we've had a lot of older players, and I know a lot of parents step up this week. I don't envision it being too big of a problem until we have varsity, junior varsity away matches when the freshmen and sophomores and the people on the Froshmore team need rides. That might be something that parents that are on that team need to consider communicating with Coach Riley and Coach Gosh about. In terms of communication, I hope everybody is on this already, but if you are not on this, send the message at NCWT 2021 to the number 81010. And that's the easiest way to communicate with me. The players have done an excellent job so far, letting me know. A lot of players had best buddies tonight, and they told us what was going on. I'd like to have that communication well in advance, please, if possible. Also, it's easier if you download the app itself on your phone, as you can then send individual people messages or individual coaches messages as well. Equipment is pretty straightforward. In the fact that we don't have the tennis house like we usually have, and locker rooms and access to water is kind of challenging. So it really brings a little bit of responsibility on the part of the players and the parents for you to help them make sure that they have adequate water jugs. They can fill them up at school in the new water fountains. Make sure that players have enough clothing. We've been so blessed here the last 3 days to have 60-degree weather for 3 days in a row. I can tell you, obviously, last season wasn't that way if you were around. And I've had years on the first week where we've had 3 inches of snow on the court. So it's been pretty nice. Now, it's obviously going to turn a little bit here towards the end of the week. So we keep an eye on that every day, and that's the easiest way for us to communicate with you is using the remind. In terms of determining teams, I know that this was kind of an issue, and we had said we were going to cut and all this different stuff, but it turns out enough players, basically the right amount of players came out, and we're not going to have to cut. I don't even like to use that word, any players. We're going to take everybody that came out. Everyone's had a good attitude so far. In terms of how teams are going to look, we're not going to have a traditional top 14 or anything like that. It'll be one JV varsity team. When we play dual matches, except in invitationals like the Carmel Invitational or the MIC Championship, we'll play as many of that team as we can. And that team will end up being 20 some players, and they will travel to all the matches unless we know that the other team doesn't have enough players. Our schedule's set up to play most of the big schools in the state that keep traditionally enough players for everyone to get to play. It's just going to be a little bit different not having 21 courts to roam around on. So we'll figure that out as it goes. If you're on the Froshmore team or the freshman team, you're going to have a different calendar, a different schedule when matches start, and I've got a link to that below. One of the things that comes up quite often is people asking about playing time. Well, my daughter looks really good out there. Her serve is 74 miles an hour, et cetera, something like this. Well, when determining lineups and who plays in matches, we're going to take multiple factors into consideration. Obviously, challenge matches in tennis are pretty straightforward. One person wins, one person loses, and you can do it, figure it out easily from there. But there is some strategy that goes into it, also coachability. And on top of that, it really, we're trying to put people in positions to win as well. And every match counts. So if a player has an issue or if a parent has an issue, we'd ask that you have your player request a meeting with us so that we can individually go over what we think is happening and how we can, fix the problem in an amicable way. I would say that one thing to make sure, though, if we do have problems, we don't come bad mouthing other players, but actually communicate about what your daughter is feeling and how we can, again, better fix the situation, get in a better place. Okay. All right. So I have these additional updates for parents, and I will let you know I'm going to email this out, all of this out after the meeting. So don't think you need to memorize this or take notes like you're in AP World History class. You'll get all this again. Okay. The team fee this season is $50. We're going to collect that on Saturday. And that $50 really is kind of a bargain. You're getting quite a bit out of that. So I'm going to order a short sleeve dry fit shirt and a long sleeve dry fit shirt with that money. And then any extra money from that and the fundraising is going to go into providing snacks and team dinners throughout the season so that we don't have to ask you for more money and keep asking for donations and different things like that throughout the year. We'll just have snacks provided before every match. And one thing I didn't mention or up there that is written is we will not have food before matches or practices. So we will provide food before matches, but not before practices. So we did this, we tried this out during the boys season. We go to Costco and buy a handful of different things, figure out what the players like to eat. And they can take enough to have a snack and then have something later as well, which I found to be very useful. Uniforms are a little bit different this year. All players were ordered the IRC team uniform. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to share my screen and show you what that form looks like. And again, you're going to get that form shortly here after the meeting to the email and make sure that you have the email. So team uniform is going to look like this. Here's the order form. And you're going to send all of your contact info and how you want to pay to IRC Team Sports. You can either email this back to them or fax it back to them. And the order summary. We already had players order sizes, and I ordered extra and a little bit of everything that hopefully that we can get this to work out on Friday when I'll have the uniforms in hand by tomorrow afternoon or Friday morning. And so they'll determine the sizes, make sure that they work, and then you're going to check the boxes and then pay IRC, and then they'll put it all in a bag for you and you'll get your sizes back. When we take team pictures on Saturday, items will not be printed on yet because I didn't know how many we were going to need. And I didn't want to buy 30 extra uniforms that were non-refundable. So we're going to get the uniforms, wear them for pictures, and then take them back, put them back in the bags, and then send them off to be printed on. And they will look like this. So the uniforms that were picked this year, you've got a red tank, this black jacket, that's very nice, black pants, a black skirt, and a Nike Legend t-shirt. Okay. And then on top of that, you're getting 2 more shirts from me as well. So it comes out a cost, I did the math, I think exactly at about $275, which I think is right around what I used to charge, quote unquote, varsity. And this is just this is as much stuff or more than they ever got. So the nice thing about this is you do get to keep this year round. You don't have to return uniforms or anything like that, like other teams do. And you're getting the extra shirts on top of this. So this is going to be due, as you see on the order form, by March 24th. All right, spirit wear. I believe Christine Grissom set this up. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, but you've got a link to the store here, and this will be going out again shortly. Click on the link, and the code is NCT22. There are all sorts of items for purchase there. If you are interested in ordering any extra sweatpants or extra gear, I'd encourage you to do it now. And I think that's going to come in at a reasonable time instead of coming in at the end of the season or anything like that, where you don't want to wear a beanie in the end of May. Team events. So Saturday, and I'm going to get down to this here in a second, but Saturday we have picture day at 8:30 p.m. or 8:30 a.m. Sorry, is when our pictures start. But I want every player there at 8:15 just so we can run this smooth. And I know some players want to get in as fast as possible. I wanted to have a player parent round robin. This is something that I wanted to bring back to the team, kind of to do it in honor of a coach that gave me scholarships when I was a kid and was the reason why I'm here right now coaching tennis and why I played Division I tennis. And that was Coach Brad Holmes. This was his tradition when I joined the team. And I really felt like just bringing it back this year. Unfortunately, the weather for Saturday looks pretty rough, about a high of 48 or 49 with some snow and rain mixed in there. So I'm going to wait to say that we are moving it. But if we do move it, we are going to meet in the senior cafeteria at North Central and come in through door number 4. I will send all those details out when it looks like we are going to have to move. And it appears pretty likely that we will do that. We'll still meet, collect the money, have a meet and greet, have all the players introduce themselves and their parents, especially this year being a year where we have to play all road matches. I think it's absolutely critical for us to see each other, see the other parents, mingle a little bit so that we know who our fans are and we've got some representation. It's going to be a lot different not playing matches at North Central, which we have the most intimidating home of any facility in the state, to be honest. So I will miss that, but we're going to get over it and forge forward for a better year next year as well and make this one the best that we can. All right, other team events, we have pasta parties. You can see that, and anything else we add, we'll let you know in quite ahead of time, and we'll let you know the locations on this at least a week ahead of time as well. Note, please, that pasta parties are mandatory. They're meant to bring the girls together, have some fun team bonding, share some stories. etc. We are going to do a fundraiser this year to offset the cost, and this really, that $50 doesn't really add up to nearly how much money we spend. So I was going to let Coach Mark, if he's still on here, just say a few words about Fan Angel.
Sure, no problem. It's the same fundraiser we've done the past couple years. Be a little bit different than it was before with what we're going to be asking, because we're not really paying for court maintenance this year, but we will have just like last year, have a big long letter going through what everybody needs to do and how it's going to go and the dates that it's going to run. And, if we can be, as Dan said, if we can be successful with this, the money you're paying for the uniform and the team fee should be the last money you have to pay this year, including not having to pay for the banquet. So we're looking forward to doing that and be ready for more information coming out.
All right. Thanks, Coach Mark. The caveat here is if a player raises over $200 or a family with multiple player raises over $350, I will order a cool hooded sweatshirt for them that they get for being awesome fundraisers. Included in that team fee is one free button. We will take those photos on Saturday. So the players that are going to be leaving for show choir, we're going to need to make sure we get you in front of the line there to get you in and get you out. If you want additional buttons and if you want yard signs, there was a Google form sent out today. Fill out the Google form and there's directions on how to pay on there. And you can order as many buttons as you want to. Picture day, getting to this. This is again on Saturday, and I'm going to be emailing a PDF. I just wanted to make sure I got everyone to get their email on this list before I send it out. But a separate PDF will be coming, and that PDF gives you online instructions on how to order pictures. That's the only way to do it. They don't do cash collection or check collection anymore. A couple of important IHSA rule updates, and this is where players that are a little more experienced and parents that may be new but have experienced players, I really need you to zone in here. Per the IHSA, you can still take lessons during the season and you can play in clinics. I wouldn't recommend clinics. You're going to get enough practice time out on the courts, assuming the weather cooperates. But you cannot take lessons from the coaching staff. You can't miss practice for lessons or clinics. So if we have a lesson or we have a practice scheduled, you're not allowed to be at a private lesson. Also, that goes for a match as well. If you are playing against students or players on other high school teams, you can't play sets of tennis. Okay, so you need to, if you're gonna go hit with your best friend at Brebeuf, you can hit. Just don't play a set. If that gets recorded or something, you'll be suspended a certain amount of matches for the season. So just want to make sure you know that. So I'm obligated to tell you that as well. If you want to play a sanctioned event during the season, like a one-day showdown or go to a high-level Midwest tournament when we have a weekend off, you need to get a waiver from our athletic director, Mr. Andy Elkins, and you need to do that well in advance, typically 3 to 4 weeks at a minimum, because that has to be sent to the IHSA, and then they will make a decision on it. You are allowed 2 waivers per season. And again, these are only for sanctioned USTA or UTR events. I ask that you check with me before you sign up for any tournaments, just because I'd like to know where you're going, and make sure that we're not doing anything or have anything scheduled. It makes it easier that way. All right, communication. This is the biggie right here. NCWTPanthers@gmail.com. This is our new email address where the team parents and also the coaches can access this. So I want to make sure everybody out there that if you are not getting emails from this account, NCWTPanthers@gmail.com, that you just send an email to them now or shortly after this and just say, please add this email to the list. This is one of the hardest things to do. I remember years at the first luncheon passing around a spreadsheet that has 6 blanks on it and people handwriting it in, and no one could read the writing. It was always very difficult. So just send that NCWT Panthers at gmail.com a quick message, and then we'll get you on the communication that we'll use for email. Just want to reiterate, some of you I've known for 10 or 15 years. Others of you I've never met before, but you know, in terms of using the coaches' cell phones and texting them, please refrain from doing that. Legally, we're not supposed to do that, but also disrespecting the time that we put in, which is a lot. And we're working as hard as we can and trying to figure out a tricky situation this year. When we go home to our families, you know, if you're going to communicate with us, please use Remind, so at least I can keep things separated and know what's going on, and the other coaches can as well. If you're going to take your player away from an away match, which all we have our away matches this year, the link that I have provided here is a way for you to take your player home from a match. I would definitely encourage you to fill that out. And you can just put for the entirety of the season on that form, send it back to Riley Harmeyer, Assistant Athletic Director, and then you don't have to deal with filling one out for certain matches. If you just fill one out for the whole season, then you let us know you're leaving, you're not going to ride the bus, you can go, and you don't have to, I don't have to wait and see if you filled one out or not for that particular match. All right, I've provided the links for the schedules. So the JV varsity schedule, the Frostmore schedule. We'll have these teams separated by next week while they're recording. And then this is the Google link that we're trying to play with. Right now, it only includes matches, but we're trying to figure out how to get it to add practices and team events. Coach Mark and I have a calendar made. We have it on our phones. We're kind of moving through multiple different Gmail addresses that date back to 2008 at the moment. So bear with us on that. We'll send that out and remind and via email as well. And I just got a message saying, can you email this form? We're planning on emailing this form immediately after the meeting so that you'll have all these links and be able to look at them. Last thing, just I guess a few things I wanted to mention here. In terms of rules and consequences, you can read these on your own at your leisure. But if we have any kind of issue, player will lose the right to practice a match or a practice. Then we'll have a parent meeting, and then we'll go from there. And then typically we've never gone past that. But make sure that players are communicating, showing respect to coaches, all that kind of stuff. Parents, monitoring social media accounts, I'm sure, is awful. I'm glad my kids are only 2.5 right now. I can't imagine what social media is going to look like 15 years from now. I got a headache thinking about it. So we've had some issues, multiple issues over the last 14 years. So I would encourage you just to talk to your players about not posting things that are going to be degrading or demeaning or disrespectful to any teammates or other schools. All right. Everything else is pretty basic. This last point right here, players, especially this season, I want to have a tight team. I want to have the tightest team we can have. And we're having a good start here, and it looks like everyone's having fun. And the only way to really feel like every person is a member of the team is for everyone to stay and cheer everybody on. And it's easy to get on your cell phone or start doing your homework and all this, but staying out there, cheering everybody on until last match is off is that's our next 9 weeks. Or we only really have 7 weeks of matches, 8 weeks of matches into the state tournament. So, you know, that time, commit to it. I wrote down here for the players, check for conflicts immediately. You're going to be getting emails if your healthy roster isn't complete, so you may want to check that. through the athletics webpage. And if there are any medical conditions that we need to know about, I haven't had too many players bring things up to me or any of the other coaches. Parents, if you need to share stuff with us, please do so via remind or email. And I can't reiterate enough that these players are going to be working really hard. They need to eat. And so try to keep them with food during the day. Make sure that they're not losing a lot of weight and muscle just because they're exercising quite a bit. The last thing I always say to the players then too is just remember we're a part of a bigger community. North Central Tennis has a great tradition. It's something that I devoted my entire after college life to and that I love. And I want to make sure that we continue on that legacy by being good role models and good people and become even better people throughout the season. Now I know I've probably missed a lot of things here. I wanted to just real quickly, our team parents that are going to be sending a lot of the information out via email, also collecting money on Saturday. Marcy Robinson. Marcy, could you unmute and say hi?
Hi. Sorry, it's really loud all of a sudden in my house. Hi.
All right. Thanks, Marcy.
Yeah.
And she's back again this year. And then Jane Geller, could you say hi?
Hi, everybody.
All right. So I had both of their older daughters on the team before I stopped coaching. So it was kind of exciting to restart here.
Dan, can I say something real quick about picture Saturday?
Yep.
If there are any seniors who have to leave early for choir or can't come, we probably need to know that because we were also going to take the senior banner pictures and a separate photographer was going to do that. So if anyone's not able to do that Saturday, we'll have to figure that out. So I just want to make sure we get all the seniors taken.
Okay. Thank you. We can probably figure that out on Friday when we distribute uniforms also. Miss Jane, Miss Marcy, is there anything else that I might have missed here that we want everyone to know?
Not that I can think of. I'm recording the chat on RSVPs, so we have an idea. I'll pass that along to Allison and Amy that are setting up the lunch.
Awesome. And the other thing I was going to point out, on match days, we're going to meet at between 4 and 4:15 in Coach Riley's room. And we won't lift weights on match days, but then we'll hand out snacks and we can't get a bus until 4:30 at the earliest. So we'll send more communication about that after spring break. One other thing that I didn't mention is the Friday before spring break, we have to practice or else everybody on the team would be ineligible to play against Center Grove on the Tuesday that we return home from spring break. So that means that we are having a bagel or donut strategy session at 6:55 in my room on Friday morning before spring break. And we're gonna have a team strategy session, and that's going to be our practice. So we'll pull some videos up or something to that extent, and that'll be our practice so that we don't miss 10 days in a row, so that we can make sure that we can play on that Tuesday. Okay, so if you're leaving early from spring break, a couple people have already told me that. Let us know, please, via remind or email. But if you're going to leave early on that Friday, if you can even come in for a minute and stop by and snag a donut hole or something, that would be really helpful, so that we can get everyone playing in our first match. All right, I saw a couple other questions on here that we will get back to you. And once the meeting's over, we're going to send all this out. All right, Ms. Skeller.
Yeah, somebody's asking about fees and if they can include the team fee with buttons and yard signs and all of that. I think it's fine. It all goes to the same spot. So just make sure you're clear. Envelope with cash, Venmo in the notes or on your check in the memo line, player name and an idea of what it's for.
All right. Sounds good. All right. We're going to go ahead. Unless Mark or the other coaches think I left anything out, feel free to jump in.
Nope, you covered everything.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to having a awesome season and just be getting better as a team, improving, making sure everyone feels welcome. If there are any issues with rides, let us know. The players themselves have been absolutely wonderful communicating, and if there's little hiccups here and there, we're doing our best to solve them. And it's not easy to practice offsite, especially with our coaches or our teacher meeting schedule as well. So thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. I'm looking forward to see you in person on Saturday.
Thanks, Dan.